This is Earl Amin with the 2020 Foresight Podcast, where CEOs of companies share their insights. It is 6 questions in 9 minutes because top CEOs know how to listen and be concise. So let's get to it. Question number 1. In just a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure. I'm James Rosseau, Sr., CEO of the Corelink solution, where we focus on community revitalization. I also am a member and executive coach at Think Human, where we focus on company transformation through leadership development.
Outstanding. Very familiar with Think Human. Great organization. Question number 2. What's the best thing about being the CEO?
I believe for me, it's the ability to work on my purpose and to work in that every day and build an organization around that, and hopefully build an organization that is a self-sustaining organization that over time can certainly outlast me and continue to contribute to society.
Well said. Question number 3. I hear from other CEOs that leading their team and being able to see the road ahead can be a challenge. What are your thoughts?
I think that's absolutely true. And I liken it to a ship's captain when he leaves the shore, headed for a long destination, particularly another country. When you think about a cruise ship, you cannot see that shore for a long period of time. But I also think that it's important to dimension it. And I think about concentric circles. So I think about global challenges, which are those challenges I should certainly try to understand, but also put it in perspective in terms of my influence on it, which could be very much diminished. Then I think about industry challenges, which gets a little closer to home, and my circle of influence probably expands. But then I think about the closest circle, which is my circle of control and my company. And that's the place I have the greatest impact. And if I can focus there and do the right things and expand that circle of control, I can hopefully oversee or overextend beyond some of those other circles of concern.
Outstanding. Well, based on that answer, question number 4 is, what piece of insight do you want to share with other CEOs?
Absolutely. I would say invest in your most prominent asset, which are your employees. Your employees are your strongest asset. They are who create, deliver your product, speak to your customers, your vendors, your suppliers, and everything. And I think about 3 things to do to help focus on them. One is purpose, and purpose I break down into organizational purpose. So helping them understand what's important about the organization, why it lives, breathes, moves, contributes to society, et cetera. And 2, their individual purpose. And to the extent you can help connect those 2 things, you get so much more movement out of employees and their contribution, and they work beyond their job description. Number 2, with employees, continue to invest in their leadership and development. We've seen countless surveys, and whatever survey you pick up, well, employee engagement has been challenged over the years, but more specifically over the past 12, 18 months and 2 years, you see things that point to specificity around, paycheck's not as important anymore. Learning and development is, coaching conversations, things like that, right? So not the annual performance appraisal, ongoing coaching conversations. So invest in that. And then number 3, demystify how the organization works in terms of its processes. And for me, every organization has 3 major processes: your business model, how you make money; your operating model, how you get things done; your governance model, how you make decisions and action those decisions, right? So don't hide behind the blinds and make people in your organization worry about what's happening behind the blinds. Tell them how you get things done. And again, you get more out of it, out of your employees when you do that.
Brilliant. Question number 5. What other successful CEOs like yourself would you like to acknowledge and should be on my podcast?
Well, obviously, I've got to recommend, since I mentioned Think Human before, and you're familiar with Meredith Haberfield, who's the CEO of Think Human. I think she does a brilliant job in working with organizations to help transform the organization through leadership development at all levels. And she's helped companies like Splice and Vivo and Snap and et cetera. So her. Secondly would be Don Bailey. Don was my leader at Allstate Insurance Company for several years, and he now runs his own company in practice that helps other insurance companies grow and transform differently. And when you think about transformation, I think the insurance industry is not an industry you think about when you think about transformation, right? And Don is on the leading edge, in my humble opinion, of helping insurance companies do that.
Outstanding. Now for question number 6, the final question. How do you celebrate a win?
Out of all the questions, this is the one I struggle with the most, right? I don't know what that says about me, but that's what I struggle with the most. I need to learn how to celebrate. I would say small wins usually probably roll into some kind of intraday celebration for myself and the team, because I think it's important to stop and celebrate, ring the bell, and do something together, right? So take a moment to celebrate. And I think for bigger wins, and we can all define what bigger means, I think there's some kind of long weekend, right? Some kind of leisure activity that includes family and loved ones to get a part of that celebration. I think sometimes we compartmentalize work and family, and I've been really on this journey to, one, learn how to do more decompartmentalizing for myself, but also by hopefully exampleship, show others how to do the same thing.
Indeed. Very good. James, it's been a great pleasure having you on today. Tell us, how can people find you?
Absolutely. You can go to thecorelinkSolution.com and click on contact. You can find me there, or certainly on any social media platform, simply James Rosseau SR. And you can find me on any of the social media platforms there. Outstanding.
This is Earl Amin with the 2024 Site Podcast. For more insights, go to LinkedIn and search for The Gray Owl Company. James, thank you.
Thank you, Earl, for having me.